All right, I do need your attention. Listen up.
Not just do
All right, so semester exam point value. So just kind of, I know this is really your first kind of go around with semester exams and all that. Understand it does count a large chunk to your grade, and what grade you get is the grade. There's no fudging of it. So if you get like a 40%, that's the grade that goes into to calculate your final average. Okay, so you want to do as well as you can. The grade does not affect your 9 weeks grade one bit. Okay, whatever your 9 weeks grade is. Okay, we still have 2 weeks when we come back to finish that out. But their grade does not affect it. It affects your overall grade, which is kind of what counts in your GPA and all that. Thursday, 15 short answer questions, 4 points each, where you got to show your work. You can call free response, but you can get partial credit. Friday, 30 multiple choice questions, 2 points each. Okay, they're both worth 60 points, total for 120. Okay, for that one. We'll review today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. I'll give you kind of an exam review, almost like a passing exam that goes over the problems that you should know. So let's kind of just do a quick review because it's helpful to do some of these guided notes to kind of get you going for some of your homework assignments. All right, so on those guided notes, and you may have, some of this comes back quick. I think chapter 1 and 2 are the two chapters you're best at overall. You are allowed to use a calculator for the whole test, but it needs to be done Friday. If you need a little bit of extra time, we've kind of modified it so that you shouldn't need extra time, but if you do, in terms of like your IEP, then we got to find time during that day. All right, Cindy sends 258 texts a day to her boyfriend for D days. How many total texts did she send to her boyfriend? How do you write an expression for that? Okay, don't overthink this one. So you would just take 258 D. That's all it is. So if D is 2 days, you take 258 times 2. If D is 5 days. But this is all it says, write an expression. So that's it. All right, now these next few, make sure we don't make some careless mistakes. You are allowed to use a calculator. Sometimes, though, people will not use them and just miss them anyway. But you should kind of have a mental idea what the answer is before you just type it in. Because some people will type it in wrong. I don't know why they do that, but they do. So for 7 squared, 7 times 7, that should be 49. All right, the way it is written is negative 7 squared. J. Lee, what should that equal?
negative 49.
It equals negative 49. What if I put the negative 7 in parentheses? Okay, Connor.
7 equals negative 49.
Oh my gosh, no. No. No.
I thought it was a positive times like negative thing.
Okay, because this says take negative 7 times negative 7. That's positive 49. Negative times a negative. Oh, we failed, Mr. Schlur. Well, I have. If the negative is not in parentheses, then you're just doing 7 times 7. All right, now if they try to trick you and put a negative out front, then that's just going to be negative 49 because the negative 7 squared comes back to be 49 from the problem above, and you still got that negative in front. All right, so just be careful on that. All right, how about, what, 2/5, negative 2/5 squared, or 2/5 squared? That is, you shouldn't, now, I don't want a decimal. If you give me a decimal, here's where one thing you gotta watch with your calculator, it's small. Okay, this is just 2/5 times 2/5. Multiply straight across, 4/25, straight across. And now what about negative 2/5 cubed? Negative 2/5 times negative 2/5 times negative 2/5. A negative times a negative times a negative. Three negatives, does it come back positive or does it come back negative? Okay,
Negative.
come back negative. And 2 times 2 times 2 is going to be 8. And then 5 times 5 times 5, if you need your calculator for that, that's fine. 125, whoever said that. Negative 8/125. 5 is 4/25, positive, and 6 is negative 8/125. Okay. On New Year's Day, the temperature in Blake's basement was 64 degrees, and the temperature outside was -8. Find the difference between these two temperatures. Difference means to subtract. So you're taking 64 minus -8. Here's where you gotta watch how you input it, because you could get it wrong. 64 minus a -8. Well, minus a negative, we've learned already, it becomes a plus. So it's 72 degrees. Remember, you're starting at 64. If it's at -8, you gotta go to 0 and then go to that -8. So it'll be a total of 72 degrees difference.
Are they using the calculator on the whole thing?
Yes, yep, calculating the whole thing for that. Okay, simplify. PEMDAS. You have to show your steps. This is one that will be on the free response, the short answer one. You can use your calculator to help you and to kind of verify, but you gotta definitely show your steps. Parentheses, please, excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses and exponents. I could do this 3 squared because it's not involved with that parentheses. It's not gonna hurt anything, so I'm gonna make that a 9. Minus 3 minus 11. I gotta do that, that's -8. This minus has to come down, and then the answer goes inside the parentheses, so you need to have minus -8. Well, I'm gonna take care of that first, because I don't like to have double signs. Anytime you have a minus and negative together, it becomes a what? A positive, so I can make this 16 minus 9 times 2 plus 8. That minus negative. All right, as you look at that, right here, what do I have to do next? Okay, as I look at it, Preston, do you know? Yes, you gotta do multiplication before subtraction or addition. So it becomes 16 minus 18 plus 8. 16 minus 18, you gotta go in order from left to right, is -2, and -2 plus 8 is 6. Now, since you're allowed to use your calculator, at this point, you should go ahead and just say, all right, 16 minus 3 squared times 2 minus 3 minus 11 gives me 6. So you know you're right, okay? Or at least if you type it in right. But you got to show me these steps. If you just put down 6, you get 0 credit. Okay, you got to show those steps for that one. So your PEMDAS. Again, the directions say simplify. You do not see an equal sign, do you? Combine like terms. Combine like terms. Well, what are your like terms here? Anything with an x squared, and then anything with an x. What's 10x squared minus 6x squared? That's going to give me 4x squared. Okay, were you answering that? Sorry. And now I got negative 13x plus 14x. No,
Just one act.
plus 1x. And you can either make it a plus a 1x or you can make it plus x. That would be the same thing. Okay, typically they don't write the 1 in front of there. It's understood to be there. So 4x squared plus x. Now this one involved, do you see an equal sign? Nope, not solving it. You're just simplifying, which means get rid of parentheses, combine like terms. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times positive 5 is negative 20. Now for that second part, make sure that you distribute a negative 2. Okay, treat that as a negative 2. Negative 2 times 3 is minus 6x. Negative 2 times negative 8 is plus 16. Biggest mistake is some of you might have a minus 16. All right, take a second so you can combine like terms. And if you're not quite sure, then wait. I'm gonna do with this.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but I was just making sure like I got those where they.
Zane, what do you got? What do you think?
I got negative 10x minus 4.
Good. Negative 4x and negative 6x is minus 10x. Negative 20 plus 16 is minus 4. You cannot do anything else with them. You can't combine those. One has an x, one doesn't. So that's your final answer. Okay. Yeah, we gotta take that one more step. One more step. Okay, negative 10x minus 4. Now this is actually on the back. I know there's one on there. Just flip it over real quick for a second, and then we'll flip it back. On the bottom right, because I forget, I didn't have a spot for it. Just recall your quadrants. That's quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we talk about where an ordered pair is. You have that. All right, now flip it back over. All right, chapter 2, now we start dealing with the equal sign. And the difference is before it says simplify, simplify just means combine like terms. Okay, get rid of parentheses, combine like terms. Once you see the word solve, okay, that means, all right, what does x equal, or what does y equal to make this equation true? Because now we have an equal sign. All right, don't forget, you want to work left side and right side separately. Combine any like terms. So I got negative 7x plus 2x is negative 5x plus 8. 12 minus 3x, you can't do anything with it. So all right, so that's your first step. Combine like terms first. You got the one side the equal sign and then the other. All right, from here, Connor, what do you think? What would be your first option?
Add up the x's.
And tell me specifically how to do that.
You're gonna add either 5x or 3x or negative 3x.
Okay, we always say move the little guys. So basically we're gonna get all the x's on the same side. You can still get the right answer if you don't move the little guy, but that just makes it easier. So I'm gonna add 5x. And then you can only add it to remember the other term with the x. So you only do the opposite when you move from one side to the other. Now that gives me 8 equals 12 plus 2x. Negative 3x plus 5x is plus 2x. Jordan, I know you weren't with us for the whole first 9 weeks there. Do you know what to do from here?
Subtract 12.
Good. Subtract 12. Because now I get everything else on the other side. That gives me negative 4 equals 2x. Divide by 2. Negative 2 equals x. Now, anytime -2 equals x, we always like to write the x first. X equals -2. That should be our final. Does that make sense what we're doing?
This is, yeah,
Okay.
I know.
All right, Scott, up there.
One of the top mistakes we see here when we have like the x's on the same side is you have to remember you're going to do the opposite when you take it to the other side. For what we tend to see sometimes, the number one mistake, I would add 7x here and then add 7x here. All right. Well, that doesn't make any sense because they're on the same side of the equal sign already. So you just have to do what the paper tells you to. Okay. Just combine them. Remember, combine them before you start moving them to that other side of the equal sign.
Okay, yep, that's the number one mistake we always see. All right, now I think we're on the other side. All right. As you take a look at this one. It's gonna have a few steps here. Distribute though, first, 2x plus 12, and then distribute that -3, so it becomes 10 minus 6x. And don't forget that's -3 times -6. -3 times -6 will give me a plus 18. All right, can we combine anything on the left-hand side, Evan? No, there's no like terms. What about on the right-hand side?
No.
Or
Oh, yeah.
what can we combine? Good. You know, I like to write my x first, not that you have to, but 10 plus 18, you just do exactly like it says, plus 28. All right, Jay Lee, what do you, take a look once you get that down, take a look, what do you think our next step, or your next step is gonna be?
You subtract 12.
I'm not gonna do that first, move the x's first. I see too many people make mistakes when they do that part.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna, is that, you're gonna add it? All right, so she's gonna subtract it. If you did the 6, that's okay. So I get 12 equals -8x plus 28. Subtract 28. What is that, -16 equals -8x divided by -8. And I get 2 equals x, which is x equals 2. Did any of you add 6x instead? Okay, did you get the same thing? Yep. The reason I like to move the little guys is because that gives me a positive here, and I'm not dividing by negative. Still get the same answer, and they're both equally correct. So just x equals 2 in that case. All right, what's the next one say? Solve for what? Solve for y. Remember these? And actually, because then we got into equations, you guys have actually done an excellent job with problems like this. You're not going to get y equals a number. It's not going to say y equals 2. We're going to get y equals an expression, which is fine. So 4x minus 2y equals 8. All right, look at it. I want you to think, what's your first step? Okay, Jaylee?
Subtract 4x.
All right, she says subtract 4x. I would do the same. Yep, subtract 4x. We're going to move the term that does not have the y to the other side. All right, what should I write? Christian, what should I write down here?
-2y equals -4x plus 8.
Good. We always write the x piece first. So -4x plus 8 is the same as 8 minus 4x. And now, Zach Walls, what should I do?
Divide all three numbers by -2.
Good. Some of you forget to divide the middle number, but all three numbers need to be divided by -2. And now I get y equals -4 divided by -2 is 2x. 8 divided by -2 is -4. So y equals 2x minus 4. All right, I want you to think about this one. If 3K equals 27, find the value of 81 minus 5K. What did you not get it on? Slow down. Zane?
You want the answer?
Go through the steps for me.
Alright, so, 27 divided by 3 is 9, so you plug that into K, and the other value, which is, then it's 81 minus 5, and then in parentheses 9.
Okay, stop right there. Okay, good.
Got it.
You gotta find what K is first. Okay, K is 9, and you don't take like 3K or 27 over here. Once we know K is 9, then, as Zane said, we take that K out and we put in parentheses 9. And what'd you get here then after that?
I got 81 minus 45 equals, you know the answer?
Yep.
Equals 36.
So this would be the answer. That would be the answer. It equals 36. So don't get confused and put it equals 9. It doesn't equal 9. All right, it's going to equal 36. All right, here's the goal over the next 3 days. We'll take about half the period, go through some things to kind of refresh your memories. And then the second half of the period, you're going to work on the exam review. Each day, this exam review is worth a double assignment. It's worth 20 points. So we're going to give you the practice exam, and you get, the rest of the class to finish it. And it is, but do it on a separate sheet. You need to have a sheet out and just keep this all together. Keep this all together. So this will be used for the next 2 or 3 days. Do not lose this. Rachel, you want to sit over here? It worked. Give yourself a break.
Was it put online?
You are. You're the worst at all.
Yeah, I'm used to girl kidding.
All right, now we're here to help you. So you got a good 15 minutes. Get done with as many of these as you can. Don't write on that. Do everything on your separate sheet. You put your name on it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just your work.
I did my name last time.
Wow, you're so good, Jordan. From your name on the page.
Hi.
And then you make.
Literally 3
Wow. 30 seconds, he said, "Don't do it on paper, do it separate."
Yeah, we write on
Why did you move the No.
What is it?
I remember like air pages. It depends. Depends on the day, yeah. If it's a Tuesday, I
Go
feel
home and see it.
Pretty much, yeah, well.
well, you kill me on Tuesday.
What about you?
No, no. You ever just had some tasty
Yeah, we're up 15-1 and Ross.
I made it right. Well, Neil did.
What?
It's funny.
Oh, who is that?
I'm calling you.
Call this in.
All right, I am going to give you a 3x5 note card. On this note card, you are allowed to use it for the exam. You can write anything you want on here. You can write problems, you can write formulas, you can write
Motivational slogan.
You can write digits on there to give to somebody later.
Oh, that's.
Let's us.
You can write on both sides of it.
There's so much.
I think, yeah, we can find a pic.
What were you doing? Where were you at, Christian?
Do you know what reeling is?
Yeah?
We're like on the border. So we go over the border.